And our first story, have you been experiencing power outages lately? Well, the Electricity Company of Ghana has some explanation. At a media briefing on Thursday, the ECG dismissed suggestions that the current unannounced power outages is load shedding. Well, they, however, also assured of stable power supply in the second week in November.
Several parts of the country have been experiencing intermittent interruption in power supply recently. This has led to many Ghanaians questioning whether the Electricity Company of Ghana is shedding load. In response to these concerns, the ECG says the cut in power supply as a result of ongoing planned maintenance work. Director of Operations at the ECG, Engineer Tete Ankama Okain, explains.
But the climax was on the Sunday when we had two challenges. At the Malam BSP, there were challenges with some of the equipment, and we needed to work on them urgently. But you know, when the Malam BSP goes off, a large area within western part of Accra to Kaswa and Sawam, all of them go off. At the same time, we had another challenge, and we had to put up the station at Bachuna, which spans the Spintex Road and some other areas. So it happened that western part of Accra was off. Some parts in the eastern was also off. So it raised a lot of... The first in which we normally get outages and is when we have planned maintenance. And then we want to execute that planned maintenance. When you go around, you do inspections, sometimes you can foresee a challenge going to come from somewhere, depending on how serious the challenge is. If it's urgent, that one, there's no way you can give an announcement before you do the repairs. Immediately, you shut down and do it. Then the other cause is where sometimes it's accidental, sometimes it's intentional. People tamper with our network.
He, however, assured of stable supply in the second week of November.
Our suppliers of energy have assured us that there is energy coming. So based on that, we are going ahead to plan our jobs and our things to ensure that we will be able to give reliable supply to our customers. Looking at the period in which we are trying to bring forward all our planned maintenance so that we can finish everything by the first or second week in November for 2016. So that after that, then we know that we don't have any planned maintenance to do. If there's anything, that will only be emergencies or something critical which has come up.
The minority leader in Parliament, Oseche Mensah Bonsu, put up a strong protest in Parliament against the passage of the Local Governance Bill, but that was not enough to stop the process. Well, the bill passed on Thursday and is expected to deepen the decentralization process and also harmonize the role of sector ministers in addressing the needs of assemblies. The minority leader, however, questioned the haste in the passage of the bill. He drew attention to errors in the bill and the inadequate number of MPs on the floor at the time.
Mr. Speaker, I guess that fortifies the issue that you have raised. But having said that, this bill is about local governance and not local government alone. It is wider than local government. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, Article 240 of the Constitution, if I may, reads, Ghana shall have a system of local government and administration. In other words, local administration, which shall, as far as practicable, be decentralized. We are talking about two things at the same time: local government and local administration. So why are we only emphasizing on just one leg? That's my first observation. Mr. Speaker, so we're talking about, as I said, local government and local administration. I agree that to say local government workers may be more generic. But why do you even qualify it with a definite article that a representative of the local government workers and not a representative of local government workers? That then would embrace everybody, not the local government workers. Mr. Speaker, so I will propose that if we want to go along with that, it should be just a representative of local government workers nominated by the workers, and not the local government workers, because the employment of a definite article makes it appear as if you are referring to a local government workers that is already known. Yes. So my further amendment to that, because I believe that, yes, it would be dangerous to mention a particular union, that is the local, the Civil and Local Government Staff Association of Ghana, closer.
Well, he was protesting, and despite all that, the bill was still passed, and Local Government Minister Collins Dauda and other members who spoke on the issue insisted the passage was crucial to the running of assemblies.
We're proposing that if the 4-year term ends, if you have done 3 years, if you have done 4 years, if you have done 2.5 years, let everybody's life end. Let everybody's life end. So we start a new life of a new assembly. But in view of the provisions of the Constitution, which our colleague from 2nd D has drawn attention to, I will leave. Let them finish. Mr. Speaker, it's my wish that we listen to more views on this one, and a decision will be taken in this House.
I beg to move that the Local Governance Bill 2016 be taken to the second consideration stage in respect of clause 97(2) of the bill.
What is your reason?
Mr. Speaker, my reason is that I miss out the time when the clause 97(2) was being taken to the consideration stage. And secondly, that I think that the 97 subclause 2, the provision is very serious because it's so arbitrary, and it needs to be considered.
Indicted High Court Judge Justice Paul Outages has threatened to file another suit against investigative journalist Anas Aremeyaw following the dismissal of his suit by the Supreme Court. Justice Derry filed the suit earlier this year, asking the court to strike out the petition presented by Anas Aremeyaw to the president, and this led to his removal as judge for misconduct. He argued that Tiger IPI, the company Anas hurt, lacks the capacity to file for his removal. The court in its ruling said the content of the petition also reveals that Anas Aremeyaw as a petitioner and not the company. Well, lawyer for Justice Derry, Ni Pakwado, spoke to the media after the ruling.
Very fundamental question that we've been posing since the beginning of the case. That was who the petitioner was. You remember that from the beginning there has been this confusion as to whether it was Tiger IPI or it was Anas Aremeyaw. And the implication had been that because allegedly it was Tiger IPI, there were at times 3 people who were taking part in the proceedings when it came to those judges that had undergone the first phase of the impeachment process. We took a different position, that it was essential because of the confusion as to who the identity of the petitioner was, for us to bring it to the court, for the court to answer that particular question. So the court has answered that question today in very unequivocal terms, that the petitioner is no other than Anas Aremeyaw. So from henceforth, when we are proceeding in respect of the petition, we will be dealing with Anas Aremeyaw and not any company called Tiger IPI. The person who wrote the petition is Anas Aremeyaw, and that the court has confirmed today. So that is the... That is the sense that it means you are coming to court once again? Oh yes, we are coming to court this afternoon. In fact, I have instructions to file in respect, because now we know the petitioner. You see, we were of the position that we needed to know who the petitioner was, because there had been that conflict between whether it was Anas or whether it was the Tiger IPI, and especially because he had written the petition on the letterhead of the company.
And we'll bring you a lot more updates when we do a review of the newspapers, which will be after the news. But let's turn our attention to some social issues. Small-scale miners or artisanal miners in Obuasi have agreed to relocate to a new site designated for them by the Minerals Commission. And this comes after last week's demonstration by small-scale miners in the area who destroyed public and private property in protest of the mode of executing a relocation plan. Well, we have Lava FM's Prince Apia coming through with a report.
The standoff between the small-scale miners and Anglo-Gold Ashanti over illegal occupation of the company's concession has persisted since last February. It compelled Anglo-Gold Ashanti to sue government of Ghana over security concerns within its concession. Anglo-Gold Ashanti has released 60% of its concession to the artisanal miners, but officials are worried small-scale miners continue to trespass into the remaining 40% retained. The small-scale miners argue the relinquished area was not prepared for mining.
I'm currently in one of the areas prepared for the illegal miners to come occupy. These pegs you see here indicate where each galamsey worker, where in the local parlance they call ghetto, is supposed to occupy. So it continues like that. Everyone has his or her own ghetto to occupy. So the place is already prepared. But the illegal miners are claiming that most of the areas allocated by the Minerals Commission is not well prepared, and so they are not going to come.
Minerals Commission drew a roadmap to facilitate the relocation of 3,734 registered small-scale miners to occupy these areas. They include Nyamebetre, Kotopreso, Abedjem, Ademenu, Sushenso, Dwabeso, and Amponyase. The illegal miners embarked on a demonstration last week accusing Anglo-Gold Ashanti of acting contrary to the roadmap. Sustainable manager Nana Ampofo denies the claim.
AGA has stuck to the roadmap. Roadmap said and had in the last paragraph that areas within the concession which have already been secured should continue to be secured. As we go ahead and move people from all the other areas to the new area. So AGA hasn't breached the roadmap.
The Minerals Commission had earlier on Wednesday met with leadership of the miners who agreed to leave, but they want Anglo-Gold to further deepen holes for them. Chief Saha Na Yahuza is executive member of the Artisanal Miners Association.
Because Ghana Pasumje and the Nippano was a free her. Because everyone was one Jaoka. And when you be died at the amount. Tis a Oko Patapa, now Quaka Sawanga Sansoquano, pay peace. You were canning a quani age man. No Macassi and through no montre, say, young baby. But the sea no much say. Ye ko baby say and answer the two money say baby am the econo e juma ne diska kase na ye uniska wontime ye and ye momboa but the kakra mi hu ne say o ma start ya o mo ye juma but o mo juma na o mo ye no road map plan an ke de ye juma say ye nyina ni fa ku na ye juma no we mu ha no wo yi bi mu kura asisi ada kwa baby o mo so mo clear ma wo no enye nye ready de o mo hu ne say o mo tutundua no Utun the answer the only chapit na my name coffin. A coffin, Mr. Soma, the Akanam de Mahon, the Adaye.
And before we go, 1 out of every 5 girls in Ghana are now married before the legal age of 18. The situation is a lot more worse in some regions like the Upper East region, where 1 out of every 4 is now married before that very age. And so Joy News' Justice Beidou has been following the stories of girls who are now falling out of school into marriages in a new documentary titled Marrying Too Young. We bring you some excerpts.
mam nyai English one la mada zili do sang mara kama if mara han kasang yil ana kan wa an so bula na English one ba makin school te ba ayo dan ma ba ala dan ma la ba ma kan king toke Malat estara de la la doctor ko madam cicira commence wala ya de dara tawa atla ma ara dan mesin wala no pinze mi ko li so wala dara wate ba break no mis ko bet magresna alas de marat et oh na hasan mo Ara insi na basa makan yang kung sekolah na. Wei mo kalau wei buki halalada. Tak mau waras nggak belaga. Iku warna belikal. Mana kau bela? Wan ma aku rada kan mesti maka kudukal. Ya dah ba azum o kabut la anis ina balak la ana o kayang serba so balan wat la nita put ser o kay mo lo boki hala marakin de blaga
So when the women are come out to talk, they don't value them. And they don't even value the women in a society. But when the men come out, like if I'm there to talk to people in the community, they will value them because they see to that the women are even the cause. They are the root of the problem. So if the women are come out to talk, they don't even listen. And then the women too, they don't even value them to be a responsible people in the society. So anytime they go out to talk, they will not even listen. They will not even tolerate to what they are saying. But any time that I come out or the men come out to talk to them, they always value them because they always say the men are even supposed to talk to people, but not ladies. I am Adon Gilbert, a boy of 19 years, and I am ambassador for Youth Harvest. And then I'm working as a peer educator. Our main purpose is to fight against early marriage or teenage pregnancy in the communities. Sunday Grace was generated from his brother when he's forced to go and marry. Now when they gave birth, Sandra's husband was saying that he don't love her again.
Marrying Too Young is the title of Justice Baidu's new documentary premiered on Hotline, and you can find it on radio, TV, and also online. Well, that'll be it for the news for the morning. We have to bring you a lot more of news updates, but this time we're reviewing the newspapers, front, back pages. We'll look at the center spreads, and then we'll also be looking at a lot more of the online portals. Of course, we'll always have to start with myjoyonline.com. Well, just in case you're also with the internet or you're with one of those newly smartphones these days, you can always log on to our page on Facebook. The page's name is Joy News on TV, and right now we're streaming live there. It's a good thing because when you get to watch us regularly, you also get to know that you need to comment for many of the things that you get to see. But talking about commentary, you can also give us a lot more of your comments through the number 0560 800,000 is our number for WhatsApp. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll look at a review of the newspapers.